eyes and just become aware of where the eyelashes touch, the upper lids and the lower lids. And soften that area around the eyelashes. And sitting up nice and tall, letting the top of your head rise up towards the sky. Let your sit bones sink down underneath you. And then let's place one hand on our belly. And as you breathe in and out, notice the rise and fall of the belly so that as you inhale, the belly's filling with air. And as you exhale, the belly deflates. And take a couple rounds of breath here. You might even place both hands on your abdomen. And let's lower the arms down to the sides. We'll start by bringing our palms forward. And with our next inhale, we'll reach our left arm up and over our head. So as you inhale, reach your left arm up and over. And exhale back to your left side. Then switch arms. Inhale, reach the right arm up and over. Exhale back to your right side. And do this one more time each side. And then let's come back to center. I'm going to move my bolster out from underneath me so that I'm down on my mat now. And then let's start to cow cat. So again, you might need to shift your sit bones underneath you, cross your legs, slide your fingertips over your knees. And with your next inhale, draw your shoulders down and look out to the horizon and then up. And as you exhale, take your chin to your chest, round through your back. And then inhale, scoop your chin, then your chest, then your heart forward. Exhale, chin to chest. 2 more times. And 1 more time. And then we'll come back to neutral. Now, some might feel a little awkward. Just go with me on this one. Let's switch legs. So we have usually our non-dominant leg is out in front, and we've got the leg that has more flexibility, or a dominant leg closer to us. Let's switch legs. We'll bring that non-dominant leg in, and then now adjust your sit bones here. This is probably feeling a little different. It is for me. Now we're going to stir our pot here. So with your next inhale, take one side as you inhale, and then exhale over to the other side. And you can lean back as you do this, or maybe this is just through the head or neck. Maybe you're really moving through your hips here. Inhale towards one side, exhale over to the other. I heard something move in my body that normally doesn't move and pop. So this is probably a good thing for me. Let's switch sides. Go the other direction. So if you were going clockwise, go counterclockwise. And don't be afraid to experiment with this. So if this felt, when you were going one direction, if it felt better to move the hips, but maybe this way, it feels a little bit better to move the head or neck. Let's take one more round. And then we'll come back to seated. And yes, we can cross our legs the other way. So let's cross our legs back the way that feels just a little bit more comfortable. And then let's bring the hands, slide them over the knees, and then lower the chin down towards your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. Now roll the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And of course, our ear is not going to come all the way down to our shoulder. And you don't need to bring your shoulder up to your ear. In fact, relax your left shoulder down. Maybe even reach your left arm out to the side. Let's come back through to center. Let's switch sides. You can lower the right ear towards the right shoulder, and the right arm can come out, or you can pinch your right fingers out to the side. I never know that my neck is stiff until I do this. And I'm like, oh yeah, my neck is stiff, right? Let's come back to center. Now we're going to take our first wide-legged forward fold and seated. So you'll just bring your feet out to the side. Make sure that you're kind of shifting forward. So you're kind of tilting your pelvis forward and your heels come down, the toes up. And then we'll take an inhale, reaching up. And as we exhale, let's forward fold. This doesn't need to be your deepest forward fold. Just bring your forearms or your palms down to your mat and take your gaze down towards the floor. And let's walk the hands now over towards our left leg. So frame your left leg with your hands and turn your torso towards your left leg ever so gently. And if this is too much, just bring your left foot back into center a little bit more. And then take a forward fold here. You might bring your chin down towards your leg. You might even take your right hand and reach for your left foot. Keep the left foot active so the left toes are coming up to the ceiling. And it's fine if you need to make your V with your legs a little bit shorter. Okay. Let's walk the hands over towards the right foot. Now lift your torso, turn your torso towards your right leg, and then take an inhale as you look up and exhale, forward fold, walking the hands. You can place your hands on your shin, your thigh, just not on your knee. And if it's available, this time you might even take your left hand and reach for your right foot. But if you are grimacing or any like the baring of your teeth in this, you're going too far. Whenever I teach a live class and I see someone reaching for, a foot and they're like making a face, I'm like, that might just be too much. You should be able to relax your face in yoga. If you're like grimacing or making a face, you're probably going a little too far. Let's come back to center. Let's bring our knees together. You'll walk your hands behind you. So your feet will come towards the front of your mat and then separate your knees. And let's just windshield wiper our legs side to side. Now your knees aren't going to come all the way down to the floor and you don't need to force them down. You might even start to connect your breath to your movement. Inhale as you bring your knees up. Exhale as you lower them towards one side. And let's bring the knees back up to center, soles of the feet together, and we'll take a seated bound angle. Bring your fingers around your toes. Take an inhale as you lengthen your spine, and exhale, forward fold. Let's take a couple more rounds of breath. Let go of the tension in your lower back. Then let's come back up to seated and we'll take our first back bend. Walk your hands behind you. Point your fingers towards the back of your mat. Set the soles of your feet down. We're going to take a reverse table. Reverse table, we lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And then if it's available, you can lower the back of the head towards the shoulder blades. Try to send the hips all the way up. And then let's set our hips down. Our tail comes back down to the floor. And let's turn over to table pose. Let's take all fours. And then we're going to reach our left arm towards the front of our mat and our right foot towards the back. Hold the swimmer's pose. Engaging the core and bringing the left bicep next to the left ear and making sure that our right foot isn't going up towards the ceiling behind us. Right foot no higher than our right glute. Now draw your left arm out to the left side of your mat, so it's out to a T. And then if you'd like to challenge yourself with balance, bring your right leg out to the side. Take one more round of breath in this position. And with your exhale, bring your left hand and your right leg down to the floor. Now reach the right arm up to the ceiling and let's go ahead and rotate our right wrist. We'll switch directions. And then let's thread the needle. So let's bring our right arm down to the floor and sweep it past our left arm. Chin or temple comes down. And let's make our way back into table pose, because I know that's exactly where you wanted to come back to. Let's give this right wrist a little bit of a break. Let's reach the right arms towards the front of our mat. So your thumb is towards the ceiling, your pinky is toward the mat. Now extend your left leg behind you. Again, make sure you're not bringing the shoulders up towards the ears. Engage the core. You're looking right down at your mat. So your head is one line all the way from your top of your head through the neck and out through the spine, through the tail. Hold it. Now challenge yourself. Bring your right arm out to the side to a T position. You can stay here if it's available. Sweep your left leg out to the side. Now this is taking a lot of our core strength to hold our bodies up, right? So try not to hold your breath when you do this, and just know your left leg's not going to come all the way forward out to a perfect T position. You're just bringing it out to the side. Take one more round of breath. And then lower the right hand and the left knee down to the mat. Bring your left arm up to the ceiling to rotate your wrist. And don't forget to switch the direction that you rotate your wrist. And then we'll thread the needle. This time, bringing our left temple down to the floor. Let's come back through to table. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And if your wrists are starting to get a little sore, you can always tense your fingers or make fists. Let's tuck our toes under and come to our first down dog. Extend the hips up. Let the head rest in between the arms. Pedal out the heels, pressing one heel and the other down to the floor. Again, if you have your wrists and know we're all sitting at a desk a lot of the day and forearms and wrists get tight, but one way to kind of modify your down dog is to kind of tent your fingers, that you're lifting the heels of your hands, pressing your thumbs and the rest of the fingers down. Now let's walk our hands back towards our feet and come to forward fold. With your next inhale, lift your arms all the way up and over your head, and exhale the hands down to heart center. And we're going to take a big step forward with our left foot, all the way forward. Now set your right heel down and let's reach up to warrior one. Keeping our left knee tracked over our left ankle, but not beyond our toes, right? We don't want our knee to go beyond those toes. And let's take an inhale, and we'll exhale to forward fold here. Straighten your left knee and bring your fingertips down to frame your left leg, coming into pyramid. Good. If you have blocks and you're at home and you want to use them for your pyramid, you can place blocks on either side of your left foot. And just be careful that your pyramid hasn't gotten too long. If that happens, just step your right foot up slightly. But you want the right toes angled out towards the side of the mat, the left toes facing the front. Now let's heel toe the left foot towards the center of our mat. And we're going to come into a standing half split. So walk your hands towards the front of your mat. Notice your right foot kind of comes along for the ride here. And then lift your right heel up towards the ceiling. So have your hands frame your left foot nice and wide. And then bring your chin towards your chest as you bring your forehead towards your left shin. So chin towards the chest, forehead to shin. Then take an inhale. And as you exhale, set your right foot all the way down on the mat, all the way to the back of the mat. Bend your left knee if you need to. And let's walk the hands around to the right side. And halfway lift, wide legs. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Let's walk the hands over towards the right foot. Now, without moving your right leg at all, just walk the hands over to the right foot and release the torso down towards your right leg. So your legs aren't moving, only your torso is moving in this. Hello. Let's walk the hands over towards the left foot. Let's rotate the left toes, low lunge here. Bend your left knee forward, come onto the ball of your right foot. Now set your right hand down and lift your left arm up towards the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. And if you like balance, look up towards your thumb. Then let's take an inhale and exhale our left hand down. Now let's step our left foot back to meet the right. Sweep your left foot back and come into plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward. With your exhale, come to down dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. And then walk the hands all the way back until you're in a forward fold. You can take ragdoll here, crossing your forearms, or you can let your fingers come down to the mat. Let's heel toe the feet a little bit closer together, a little more narrow than hip width distance. With your next inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Exhale the hands down to heart center. We'll take those same standing poses on our right leg. Now take a big step forward with your right foot. Don't be afraid if you don't get it on the first one. Just heel toe your right foot forward. Set the left heel down and come up to warrior one. Keeping the chin lifted and off the chest here. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold over your right foot and heel toe your right foot towards the center of your mat, pyramid pose. The knees are mostly straight. Again, you can place blocks underneath your hands. So if you don't have blocks, you can place your hand on your thigh and flatten the back. Try to keep your left heel pressed down. The tendency is to kind of let the left knee bend a little bit. I mean, it's fine to put a little bend in your right knee because it's your right hamstring that's really getting the lengthening out in pyramid. But if you let the left knee bend, you kind of take the pressure, or I shouldn't take pressure, you kind of put the pressure on your left ankle. So you want to press your left heel, the outside edge of your heel down. Now remember those standing half splits. Let's walk our hands out in front of our right foot. Heel toe your right foot to the center of your mat. And then lift your left heel up towards the ceiling. Again, the chin comes towards the chest, forehead towards the shin. Take one more round of breath. And then set your left foot all the way towards the back of the mat down. Walk the hands around to wide-legged forward fold. With your next inhale, take a halfway lift. Nice flat back. Keep the gaze down. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands over towards the right foot without moving the legs, only the torso and the arms. Take a side stretch towards the left. I might have said right. It doesn't matter. You're going to do the other side, okay? Now walk your hands over towards the other foot, only moving your torso and arms. Legs stay in the same position. And let's walk the hands. This time, if you're not over on the right foot, go ahead, walk them over to the right. Let's come into low lunge. Remember that twist? Plant your left hand down, either on a block or on your mat. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. And we're just here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's go ahead, bring the right hand down to the floor. Lower your left knee down. And then let's bring our right foot back to meet our left. And then let's open the knees to the outside edges of our mat. Bringing the big toes to touch, let's take child's pose. Slide the fingertips forward. Bring the forehead down for a moment. And take about 2 more rounds of breath in child's pose. Nice and slow. And let's make our way to table. Now when we get to table, let's turn over to seated. Bring the feet forward. And just about 2 more poses to do before we come down to our back. So we'll take a boat pose. So reaching the hands underneath the legs, you can hold on to your thighs. Make sure your back is nice and straight. And with your next inhale, bring your torso closer towards your thighs. And as you exhale, lower your torso away from your legs, lower it towards the back of your mat. Lift the shins up towards the ceiling. Keep the shoulder blades together behind you and the chin lifted off your chest. Now don't hold your breath like I was just doing. Now lift the arms up. Keep that breath flowing in and out. Engage your core. Open through the chest. Try not to round into the chest here. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath. 2 more. Last round of breath. And let's bring the arms behind the legs. Let your feet down. Let's come down to our backs. And we'll come right into bridge pose. We're going to bring our arms down to the sides. Walking the heels back towards our glutes. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. And when you're ready, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Now you'll be looking straight up towards the ceiling in this bridge pose, right? The back of your neck is going to be nice and flat on your mat. Your palms are pressed down. You might even notice your belly rise and fall with your breath and bridge. Then let's take just 3 more rounds of breath. 2 more. One more round of breath. Let's lower the tail down to the floor. Bring the arms out to the sides. Take 1 inhale. And as you exhale, start to lower the knees to one side. With your next inhale, you'll bring the knees back up to center, and you'll exhale them over to the other side. Just windshield wiping the legs. Inhale as you bring them up. Exhale as you lower them towards the side. Then the next time that the knees come over towards your right side, just go ahead and let them rest on your right. Scoot your hips over to the left a little bit, or the knees to the right. Recline twist pose. Let's bring the knees back up to center. Scoot the hips over to the right side of your mat and lower your knees towards your left. And let's bring the knees back up to center. We'll take a supine pigeon. Lift your left foot up towards the ceiling. Okay. Now cross your left foot over your right thigh so that you've got a figure four with your legs. You can even bring your left knee towards the top corner of your mat. That'll open the hips. And if you'd like a little bit more of a hip opener, you can actually lift your right foot off the floor and take hold of your right leg. And if you'd like a little more, rock gently side to side. Let's bring the right foot down to the floor if you've lifted it, and we'll switch sides. So this time the right foot will come up to the ceiling, cross it over your left thigh. Bring your right knee towards the top of your mat. And again, this might be just enough for you right here. If you'd like a little more of a traditional half pigeon, you're gonna lift your left foot, bring your left knee into your chest, and bring your hands behind your left leg. Rock side to side. You might even rotate your ankles here. And let's bring our left foot down to the floor. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Recline bound angle. Open the knees to the outside edges of your mat. And take a position with your arms or your hands that's comfortable. Could be out to the sides, or you might rest them on your belly or bring them over your head. Let's bring the knees back together. And then let's lengthen out the legs, bring the arms over the head. Take a full body stretch here. Inhaling all the way from the fingers down through your toes. You can roll your ankles or wrists here. And then bring the hands down to the sides and slide the back of the hands underneath the glutes. Lift the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. For legs up the wall. Now, if you have a wall and you're close by it, feel free to scoot actually over to your wall to let your legs rest and legs up the wall. If you don't have a wall that's easily accessible to you, you can put them up on a chair, a table, your desk, just any place that can give your legs a little place to rest with the feet over the head is really good for the central nervous system, calming it down. It's a really nice way to give yourself a moment to end your practice. So we'll take 1 minute and legs up the wall. Close your eyes. And if you find that you really enjoy legs up the wall, a nice way to take a little break in your day. But let's start to bring the legs down gently and slowly. So if you brought the hands underneath the glutes, you're just untucking the hands. And then let's bend the knees and bring them into our chest to give ourselves a little hug. You can take some movement, rock side to side here. And then let's lengthen the legs all the way out. And bring the arms down to the sides. It's time for our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So bringing that palms out to the sides, you can turn your palms up towards the ceiling. And if you need to put on your socks or grab a wrap or a blanket to put over yourself. And if this is your break in the day, which I always encourage you, this is your break and you just want to take a little power nap here, do a reset before you move on with the rest of your day, feel free to just kind of fade off here. And sometimes our bodies just need that stillness. I do want to just thank you, Team Target, for joining our practice today. Again, my name is Lori. It's been a pleasure to host you. Please take your time, taking a beautiful rest. I'll let you rest for a few moments, closing the eyes. Just feeling the breath flow through the body. So that as you inhale, your belly rises. And exhale, the belly deflates. And yogis, know that you're always welcome to stay in Shavasana. But if you do need to get on with the rest of your morning and into the rest of your day, you might wiggle your fingers and toes. Begin to roll the ankles and wrists. You might gently rock the head side to side. Just a little awareness that brings small movement back to the body. And then when you're ready to transition, you can either turn to one side to take fetal pose, or you might find comfort in bringing the knees back to your chest to give yourself another hug. And when you're ready to come to seated, if you're ending with seated this afternoon, just press your palm into the mat or rock and roll to come up to seated. And bring the hands to your lap or your hands to heart center, whatever feels right to end your practice. And take one round of breath where you take a full inhale through your nose and an open mouth exhale, letting it out. And take this breath into the rest of your day. Namaste. And Team Target, I will see you next week. And hopefully that was a good practice. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. We'll see you next week. So glad you could join us.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.